Welcome back. A new Axios survey conducted by the Harris Poll finds 51% of Americans, including 42% of Democrats, all support mass deportation of illegal migrants. Nearly two-thirds of Americans also say that illegal immigration is a real crisis, not politically driven media narrative. Meanwhile, 32% of Americans say that the Biden administration is, quote, most responsible for this current border crisis. Joining me now is Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, a member of the House Oversight and Natural Resources Committees. And Congresswoman, good to see you this morning. You've made the point in the past, every state is a border state, including Florida.
Most certainly. In fact, we're seeing right now with Republicans leading by over almost 1 million voters in the state of Florida. You know, Biden was just here in Tampa the other day, and Maria, there was tens of voters there. There was not a massive support or cry for President Biden. But going back to what your statement was saying earlier, you know, those numbers across America have swung upwards of 15 points from June of 2020 in regards to the illegal immigration crisis that this administration created.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a new national poll from the University of North Florida, and it finds former President Trump is leading President Biden by 2 points among likely voters. Biden claimed earlier this week while he was in Florida, as you just mentioned, he said Florida is in play for the Democrats. Watch this.
I think Florida is in play nationally. And Nikki's doing a hell of a job as your state chairman. I think, you know, whether the press thinks I'm good, bad, or indifferent, I think they acknowledge that there's less than truth comes out of the other guy's mouth. And, you know, you wouldn't know it from what you're reading here, but, you know, we're in pretty good shape in the polls.
So many mistruths coming out of this president, and he's being called out on it right and left, and yet he still says nothing that comes out of Trump's mouth is truth. Congresswoman, Trump won Florida in 2016 and 2020. What is your reaction to Biden saying Florida is in play?
Florida is absolutely not in play. You could hear all 10 of his supporters there in the background cheering. But what I will tell you, Maria, is that every single day when I'm out in the community, people understand what's happening at our southern border. It is absolutely a topic of discussion, but also inflation. And with this economy continuing the way that it's going, you know, Biden's not looking good in his favorabilities across the country, and especially in Florida. So, Maria, you know that the pathway to the White House is through the state of Florida and the I-4 corridor. And that's exactly why they're trying to say that Florida's in play, but it's not. It's going to Trump.
I want to get your take on something that you've been working on. You have been outraged by the government spying on ordinary Americans. Tell us what you did with FISA, which passed.
Yeah, so I actually made a last-ditch effort to prevent FISA from passing as is. Maria, I am a privacy hawk, and I'm also a defender of the Fourth Amendment. And what we saw with the current form of FISA is that there's a gross overreach, and there was also a carve-out that was created for members of Congress so that we would get notified if we were under surveillance, but the average American person would not. I simply don't agree with that. And so I'm hopeful that when President Trump gets back in office and we have a speaker that will be aggressive on this, that we'll be able to fix that for the American people. But it was a travesty, and I did try to make, again, a last-ditch parliamentary effort to pause that, but unfortunately it passed.
Well, it passed and was extended for an additional 2 years, right, versus 5. So that was one thing in your corner in terms of it didn't get the full 5-year extension, just 2 years.
Correct. And so hopefully at the end of that 2-year mark, again, that will come back up for renegotiation. But I think it's important for the American people to note that you can have a safe country where your civil liberties aren't being violated, but also, you know, you can back entities like the CIA and the NSA that are supposed to be fighting for the American people. But you and I both know, Maria, that the FISA courts have been abused, and we can't allow this to continue, especially if we want a free and fair society.
Oh, absolutely. Look, the FBI and the CIA spied on President Trump when he was candidate Trump, when he was President Trump. I mean, it's just outrageous. But at the same time, you know, the overseas component of catching the bad guys is what the other side keeps talking about. But, Congresswoman, something you just said a minute ago, that we'll look at this again when President Trump gets in office and when we have a different speaker. Are you suggesting that the speaker's situation in terms of this motion to vacate is still in play?
I don't believe that the motion to vacate is in play. And again, my concerns for that currently with timing is that I believe that there would be people that might take a deal and either have coalition government or give the gavel to Hakeem Jeffries. And I simply can't support that. But what I will say, Maria, is that there is a lot of frustration within the Republican body. And although Mike Johnson is a nice man, I can't get behind what he's currently doing. And so I'm looking for other names potentially to float for Speaker in the fall.
In the fall?
Well, after this November election is more or less to clarify.
Okay. Congresswoman, thanks very much. Great to see you this morning. We'll be watching your work.
Thanks, ma'am.
All right. Anna Paulina Luna.